It's okay. My husband loves the Bears too.
See, that's another reason he's a good man. Anybody that's a Bears fan is a true fan. Because you got to be.
That's the criteria.
It's like, like we're supposed to lose this weekend. Are you ready to go?
Almost.
I'm gonna turn down that. There we go. We don't need Despacito starting.
Oh boy.
You don't have to start.
This is a good one.
Be that way for a little bit.
Early in the morning, so those potatoes don't get nasty.
And Travis can't even enjoy them.
I know.
Yeah.
I've got a whole 100 pounds at home if you want some.
Ready?
Hope you heard me. Good afternoon for the City of Mountain Home Plan and Zoning meeting for September 19th. We have established a quorum for tonight's meeting for first order of business. Second order of business is approved meeting minutes for September 6th, 2022. So entertain a motion for that.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes for September 6, 2022.
Do I have a second?
Second?
So let's go second. Go around then. Yeah.
Aye.
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 I as well motion for the approval of meeting minutes is approved. Next item of business is recognizing persons not on agenda. Noted no one is stepping up to be recognized, so we'll go to the next item of business, which is item 4. Public hearing and action, application item, conditional use permit, Walmart drive-through application, Walmart Stores Incorporated, and Carabin DOT, hope that's correct. Walmart partner requests a conditional use permit to allow drive-in, drive-through establishment as an expansion to the property located 2745 American Legion, RPA 3S07E 331310. Proposed drive-in establishment will allow for curbside pickup on online orders. Application PZ 22-77. Mr. Cherry.
All right, I'm actually going to give this one to Mr. Curtis.
I'm going to take this one.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all good. We do have a representative from Walmart here, Mr. Jose Castro. He's going to come up and talk a little bit about it. We've got a little bit of a show for you here. So, Mr. Castro?
Yes. Hello. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Jose Castro. I'm a planning and permitting manager with WD Partners. We represent Walmart. So this project proposed is an expansion of the existing Walmart. It's 2,640 square feet, and it's for their grocery pickup services. So it's an expansion of an existing service that they offer. And it's also an expansion of their grocery pickup parking stalls, which looks like you guys consider a drive-in establishment. And that would go from 9 existing spaces to 45 grocery pickup stalls. They are located within the same general area of the existing parking stalls, so we'll just be adding to that area. Here on the site plan, I believe that's a circulation plan, and it just shows how the cars would enter, how they would park on the west side of the store, and if I zoom in there.
might give you a little better.
Yeah, they're just regular parking stalls. Typically, they're striped a little bit wider so that, the employee can come and load the car more easily. And customers are advised not to exit their vehicle generally so that employees could load the merchandise in the trunk or in the back seat. That's pretty much it.
So that was typical employee parking before?
Before, actually, I don't know where the employee parking was previously. Do you happen to know, Chris?
So if you look in your packet, this was already being used for their pickup service. It's just expanding on the use. The employee parking is actually this parking that's a little bit below.
Okay.
And over here, this is where the employees are parking. Yeah, so this is already being used for that. They're just expanding it.
Gotcha.
And they're doing an expansion on the corner of the building right here.
That's correct.
Was there anything else, sir?
No, that was pretty much it, yeah.
So I got a couple things I'll add in, if you don't mind. Obviously, we understand that conditional use permits are required for all drive-throughs, and the purpose of them is that we don't impact neighborhoods. The way that this is set up, it's so far off the main street and there's no neighbors on either side, so there's not gonna be a negative impact. We did look at the parking space requirements. They're required 523 for the Walmart establishment. Losing these spots, they still have 697, so there's no negative impact to their parking requirements at all. They did meet all of their public notice requirements as far as their mailers, their site postings. Everything that is a requirement for the conditional use permit, we feel like they've met, and we feel like this is one that's ready to go.
So in your opinion, no traffic impact?
Nope, no, because this is set so far back up away from where the entrance and exit are. It's gonna be negligible.
Well, and we already have, so they would already have 697 parking spaces.
Any questions?
Any questions for me?
I'm gonna open up to public comment right now, so if you would just step back in the chairs, and if we have any questions from the citizens, we bring it back up. Okay. Anyone would like to come up, please sign in, and afternoon.
Commissioners, my name is Misty Pierce. You guys all know me. I live in the Donna subdivision. I don't have any problem with this expanding. I don't think it's gonna bring any more traffic in because people are already utilizing that service. However, I have some suggestions maybe to help with the chaos that happens up there at Walmart. And I don't know if the gentleman here it's been a few days at Walmart, but that stop sign that's at an angle, a lot of people run right through that. As soon as they're coming out, they don't stop. They don't even realize that that's a stop sign. I've been hit almost 3 or 4 times coming down that second lane. I don't know if Chris can blow that up, but
I know exactly what you're talking about.
This lane here,
Yep.
people blow right through here and don't even realize that you've been stopped, waiting and looking out for your backside. And then also, there's a blind corner on American Legion. It is horrible. We've got semis almost hitting people. We've got people not stopping at all. I know the police department sat there for a while last summer, giving tickets for people not stopping at the stop line, because you're supposed to stop at the line. And then they would just go straight forward so they can see around that, because that's a really bad blind corner. And I know with ITD, the more we add up there, or the city adds up there, the more they're gonna require a medium and possibly a stoplight. And I just want to read a quick email that I got from Nina from 2019 asking about the cost of the stoplight. I misquoted last meeting. The South 18th traffic light and street project started in 2012, so it took 5 years to find funds for it. They received a $50,000 grant, or $50,000 from the state to help with the building of the traffic light. Also, at the state level, there were funds from what they call Local Highway Technical Assistance Council set aside to start the construction project and complete the project. So from 2012 to 2019, we built additional carry cash over into the city street budget to fund the required match grant for the project and the additional funds needed to complete the traffic signal. The project was put on the shelf by the local highway until Technical Association Council, until they also had built the required funds into the city's budget cycle. Budget cycle's already been done. So it's gonna have to wait till next year. The city levied into the street budget for the build funds and projects from the years of 2012 to 2019. We saved funding to complete both the traffic signal and the South 18th widening and repaving. So if it was $50,000 2019, it's gonna cost more now with inflation. And that's gonna be a burden on the taxpayers. So I just wanted to reiterate that the ITD liaison did say that that medium is going to be a requirement, not a recommendation. Thank you.
Anyone else like to make any public comment? So, a couple questions I have just to bring up what citizens stated. For the stop sign, is that something that's within the preview of this?
It's an existing site condition. I guess you could argue that this isn't a use they already have, but they're expanding, so there could be some more generation of traffic, and you could say you must have it fixed or you must need it to be fixed. My only issue with applying any sort of condition is I don't know if any of us, I believe we all believe there's an issue there, and I shop there, and it's kind of sketchy, but I don't know what the solution is. So conditioning without a clear solution for the applicant is difficult. I am appreciative that we had a citizen bring up valid concerns. It's on the record. Walmart now has those, but I don't know what sort of condition I would recommend that this body make in order to fix the issue.
So since that's how would we describe that legally?
If I can, I don't think that, my personal opinion, I don't think we're increasing traffic anyway. We're just generating spots now that are designated for this. We're already doing this to this point. Like you said, it's on the record. I think that's a positive thing. I think that Walmart hearing it is a positive thing, and they're going to go through these notes. But as far as us being able to do anything about it, I don't see how that would be possible for this.
Not without an actual
Yeah,
recommendation.
this is not, that's, yeah.
Yeah,
I
this
feel like
is
that's not the scope of what we're pointing at here.
Gotcha. Yeah.
My
Agreed.
personal opinion.
I think the understanding that there's dedicated traffic flow that will be increased upon that segment, and having the understanding on Walmart's side that there are some challenges with ingress egress from the proposed location. I mean, really, I don't think as a condition of our decision today that we can necessarily decide that there's anything that needs to be done with an on-property, off-highway stop sign or road markings.
For sake of asking, are there any stop signs up there for you, like from where you pick up to where you kind of get into that, I don't know.
If I remember correctly, there's a stop sign
right
up
there.
there.
And there's another one right there.
So you got two that you have to go through for,
I mean, and those exist today,
yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
there's,
Yeah, I think there's a four-way stop at one, or a three-way stop on one of
Right.
those there.
right there by the green arrows.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know that I could cite anything specifically other than perhaps just repainting lines, perhaps, to help guide traffic flow. I mean, those are all items that already exist, so forcing that upon a condition, I don't know is feasible in this
For the
sense.
sake for curiosity, could that even be done since it's private road or private
Well-
property on that?
So, yes, to a point. You know, in the conditions for a conditional use permit, health, safety is definitely on there. And I do see some nexus between that of what was mentioned by Ms. Pierce and what is proposed. There is some nexus. It's just how strong it is. And all of you guys have discussed that, which is great. My only thing is I don't know what sort of recommendation to make to fix it. At this moment, you could. So the good thing is it's going to be in the findings of fact. It's going to be in the minutes that it was mentioned. I don't have a condition for you from staff on how to remedy the situation.
So I just wanted to point out that part of this project also consists of safety restriping, and restriping that crosswalk is part of this project already.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
so that crosswalk right there, because there's even a crosswalk there too, guys.
That's not.
Yeah, it looks like all of the safety and stop signs, pavement markings will be restriped, repainted
Chris,
on site.
it's the map right above.
Yeah, there we go.
And these are going to be restriped.
I mean, I think that's legitimately covers, any concern or even possible condition that might be within purview of requesting.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Another thing to note, being that it's a conditional use permit, conditional use permits can be revoked. So let's say things were getting just very bad at Walmart, and I really doubt it would ever do this, because I'm confident Walmart would rectify it long before the city got involved. But let's say we just have crash after crash after crash. We have citizens coming in saying Walmart is unsafe. We have police records of X amount of crashes. People are getting hurt. The city can revoke it because they're not meeting the conditions of their conditional use permit.
Gotcha.
So know that for the apocalypse type situation, that there is a remedy for that. Obviously, we want to make it as safe as possible from the very beginning. And I believe that the applicant has pointed that out. It looks like there's going to be some restriping. They're speaking to somewhat of what is there. So I would say, short of us being able to develop a condition with what is going to be involved with the entire project as presented, there's something there. And you can even condition, if this body chooses to recommend approval, that we recommend this conditional use permit as presented, which acknowledges everything, the striping, everything going along with the action.
Then one other concern the citizen had is the stoplight. I know that's Ada, or not Ada County.
ITD.
ITD. So who would make the call on that? Would ITD if the traffic got?
Give it to our public works director.
There is an access plan that the state approved, and at City View, there's a light that's supposed to go in there sometime.
At the corner of where Walmart's at?
Up above, right there in the grassy knoll, right there.
The grassy knoll. So that would solve that problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other comments, questions?
I have nothing.
I got nothing.
Motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve conditional use permit to allow a drive-in establishment located at 2745 American Legion Boulevard under the following conditions. 1, subject to site plan amendments as required by building, public works, fire, zoning officials to comply with applicable city codes and standards. And 2, the applicant shall meet the performance and design standards for the drive-in establishment per city code 9-9-14 as applicable.
Got a motion, have a second?
Second?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye as well, motion passes. The next item on the agenda is the preliminary plat for Jennifer Loveday, care of Moore Taylor. Request to approve the west 8th South Townhome preliminary plat consisting of 3.5 acres located between West South Street and West 9th South Street, and beginning with Southwest Street and South 3rd West Street. Parts are RPA A3S06, Echo 363200, the west south townhome will be attached townhome community that will include 42 single-family attached townhomes with 1 and 2 car garage and 5 common lots. Application PZ 22-87. Mr. Chris, or Mr. Brown.
I'm doing this one.
Cherry on this one.
Oh, Mr. Cherry, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we do have the applicant here, and I will hand over the ball to him. I just want to give an explanation of what's happening here and what options are available for this body. So it's important to know that this is a preliminary plat, which is going to be laying over a planned unit development, which has already been approved, which has already been signed. So when that planned unit development was approved, we decided we are going to allow you to do X, Y, Z. They presented us a plan. If you remember this one, it was
When was it
kind
approved?
of different. It was approved by City Council on August 23rd, 2022. I mean, not August. August.
August, yeah.
August
okay.
23rd, 2022. If you can remember, this one had a different type of design, both at the Planning and Zoning Commission and the City Council. We had people come in and speak about different sentiments that they had towards that. However, ultimately, this is what was approved in the PUD. So I know that we had Commissioner Waller, I hope all of you received his comments. He expressed some concerns with what was presented, but he did acknowledge the underlying zoning, what was there. So really, what makes this different than if we were to approve a preliminary plat without a PUD is the amount of discretion we have as far as items we can look at of what we can say, we don't like this is what we'd rather see. The applicant has an approved PUD, which when that PUD was approved, we said, okay, all future development per the PUD, if it looks like this, it's going to be passed. Is that understood? Same as with the site of what was there. So what myself and what Mr. Curtis, what our prerogative was when this application was accepted, we looked at the PUD, looked at the site plan, and we looked at, does the preliminary plat, because now they're dividing actual property, does it meet the intent of the site plan? Are there any major deviations? Which there are not. So what I want this body to realize is that we have a planned unit development agreement, which has been reviewed by staff as we were reviewing this application. We have had the applicant make a few changes to better represent what was in that PUD, better descriptions, and better illustrations to better illustrate what actually will be ultimately developed. So we have 42, they are attached single family is what you would call them. Per the building code, you have 42 modern high-end single family attached townhomes. And then you have 5 common lots. So you have a total of 47 lots. They have been reviewed. They meet what was initially presented with the PUD. One item that we looked at very closely was this roadway going into the development, which is West 8th South Street. This is still a public right-of-way. We wanted to ensure that property owners that currently have access now would continue to have access. All of this right here is going to be rolled curb, so these property owners will still be able to access that right-of-way as they currently are. So with that, before I hand it over to the applicant to give further explanation, are there any questions for me at this time?
No.
Mark Taylor, ZGA Architects, representing Jennifer Loveday.
You don't have to sign it.
Pardon?
You don't have to sign it.
Okay, just making
You're
sure.
the applicant.
Well, as explained, I'm not sure what else, what other explanation we'd like. The PUD, as Brock had mentioned, that has been approved. It's a little bit like putting the cart before the horse in this instance. A couple of jurisdictions that we had to work together with, the canals and so forth. So we had a lot of complications here, and so it was put this direction. So this is more of the, after effect of what we're coming up with.
No, I mean, the way I look at it, we already had the PUD approved. So they can put in something a little bit different in there, and it's already zoned R4. I think the biggest thing would be, again, you know, we're talking, I live close to that area, and we live close to that area. That area, you're talking high-end rental townhomes, and that area is not really high-end, like the surrounding area, so it'll stick out for sure. But, I mean, it's like, will it actually go with the rest of the stuff? That's one question, but then at the same time is like, when will we actually start upgrading all of the things around that? It has to start with one development, and I feel like it would start with this one, so.
Hopefully all boats will rise from this, they would say.
Yeah, we can hope.
And in this case, we would consider this green infill, correct? Like,
Yeah, it is green infill. Not typical infill, but infill all the same. And I think it's important as well to note that, you know, if you remember, if you were on the commission when this was passed, we worked a lot with the irrigation district. So to ensure that they would be able to maintain everything that is there.
Yeah.
And to the applicant's credit, they did. The irrigation district has a sufficient enough easement that they can use their equipment for removal and also to maintain those water lines. That was a big deal. That was one of the conditions, and we made sure that that was going to be illustrated on their plat, that there will be a platted easement for them to do their work. So with that, just as I mentioned before, we have reviewed the planned unit development agreement, and we have found that they have met the requirements of that. And therefore, it would be staff's recommendation, based on us having that, which you have to remember, this is a very different situation. Had we not had a PUD, and this was just a preliminary plat, we could have all of the discussion that we had when we initially approved the PUD.
Right.
It's a bigger bite at the apple. But
Yeah.
we have a document signed between the applicant and the city, saying allow us to do this if we meet X. And so far, with the progress of this development, they have met all of the conditions, and we, as staff, recommend approval of the preliminary plat.
If you can you step back for a second, open up for public comment. Thanks, sir. Does anyone have any comments they would like to address on this project? Seeing none, I will close for public comment. Any further questions from the board?
none for me.
No, I was on the commission when we did it, and it was very, very, very tedious, so it was done right in my opinion.
Agreed.
1 and 2 car garages.
If there's no questions, I entertain a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the West 8th South preliminary plat consisting of 3.56 acres located west 7th South Street and West 9th South Street between South 5th West Street and South 3rd West B Street under the following conditions. 1, subject to site plan amendment and required by building, public works, fire, zoning officials to comply with applicable city codes and standards. 2, the final plat and all future development will comply with the uses of the bulk and coverage controls provided in the attachment number 2 proposed plan unit development. 3, before a final plat is recorded, the applicant shall receive all necessary approvals regarding water and sewer and infrastructure from the Central Health District. Number 4, per City Code 9-16-10, Section J, failure to file and obtain the certification and acceptance of the final plat application by the administrator within 1 year after action by the commission shall cause all approvals of said preliminary plat to null and void, unless a one-year extension of the time is applied for 30 days before the expiration by the subdivider and granted by the commission. A preliminary plat may be extended one time only, after which it shall be deemed null and void.
Motion to have second?
Second?
What's you, ma'am?
Aye.
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 Your motion passes. Next item of business is new business, which we have now. We'll go down to old business, action item planning unit development, rezone R4 to R4 PUD, Culprit Commons, application Meridian Development. This is just the findings of fact, correct? Request by Meridian Development Company LLC to rezone plan unit development to Culprit Commons subdivision. Request will allow for master plan development, building 64 attached single-family townhomes, period, and 10-story buildings varying in 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9 units. The development will provide a sign cover, uncovered parking tenant, or uncovered tenant parking, 3 electric vehicle charging station, open space amenities, including 2 playground, community plans, community pavilion, bicycle rack, walking, and jogging path throughout the site.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the finding of facts.
Can I hear a second?
Second?
Aye.
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 I will, finding of fact is, department head reports. Anyone have any questions on monthly permit report or monthly code enforcement report?
I have none.
Only question I got, I don't know if it's Chris or, do we not get like the applicants of who's doing it? It's just, we're just getting a micro or a macro view of it instead of a micro?
As far as,
The old ones used to have like
We can still provide that to you if you want. We just thought this looked a little more streamlined.
Okay.
And gave you a quick site picture of just exactly how many permits were put in, how much money, the whole thing. And we can give you the entire breakdown if you're interested in that.
That's something that everyone would like to see.
Heck yes. Let's go.
I mean, I think there's some
We are nerds. That's why
use
we're here.
case where the detail may matter.
Thank you for that, Chris. Item requested by Commissioner or staff. Do you have any items for us, sir?
we don't have any items for you. As far as items that are coming up, note that on the 29th, we will be having a meeting for Mountain Bound, a special meeting. And then you'll have your meeting on October 3rd, and there will be
Pizza. Just kidding.
not pizza.
Oh, we can
October
go
3rd.
chicken no.
Which developments do we have on October 3rd?
Third, we have.
Is that Fall Creek?
We have Fall Creek, Blue Yonder got pushed.
There will be a residential subdivision on that date. Note that this is not a PUD. They're just coming in, wanting to plat, utilizing the existing R4 designation.
Okay.
This is the property south of Silverstone.
Okay.
One question on the conference that's coming up. Is that something we can listen to or Zoom into?
Zoom into.
Or since I'm traveling, I want to go to, but I want to at least
We will take copious notes
copious.
for you, and I'll let you know if there's anything that you're able to zoom into
Okay.
and or listen to.
Cool. Appreciate that. I couldn't make it.
Awesome.
Anything else, sir?
Nope,
Chris?
not at this time.
And with that, we are adjourned. Thanks.